Yeah. Okay. So, friends, today we are going to discuss about valuation of bonds and stocks. The respective topic will be divided into two parts. Will be divided into two parts. This topic will be divided into two parts. One, it will be in the first half. It will be valuation of bonds, whereas the second part of this chapter will talk about valuation of stocks. How bonds are being valued in the market, what things that you need to keep in mind when you're calculating the bond valuation or the stock valuation. All these things will be discussed. So moving ahead, what is the outline of this chapter? It talks about distinction among valuation concepts, identifying the ways to calculate a valuation of bonds, bond yields, that is return that is being generated from the bonds, bond market. These all are about bonds. Then after that, it is preferred stock valuation, preference shares and all. Equity valuation, dividend discount model, equity valuation, PE ratio approach, and earning price ratio, expected return and growth. And then we'll have a brief uh, view on the stock market, what stock market is and how it operates. So this is what we are going to discuss face to face. Concepts of valuation. See, you know uh, what is the value of liquidation value, going concern value, market value, book value, and interest. So we see all these terms to understand what value means. Liquidation value means at what price the particular asset will be liquidated. Going concern value, it comes with a perpetuity. The once an activity begins, when a company starts, it is going to be continue for a longer period of time. Book value is the value that is also known as a historical value, an asset purchased at a certain price, and that respective price is entered into the accounts of books of accounts, so it becomes book value. Market value, you purchased something at X, and today the market is ready to pay you Y value of that respective X price product, and that Y is known as a market value. Intrinsic value, all assets come with their own respective value depending on time frame, location, etc. Assets can be valued accordingly. So these are the various concepts of value. Bond valuation. When you see this, you can recall the time value of money. When you are solving the time value of money, now this P stands for current price. P stands for current price. And in the same way, when you're solving the sum for present value of a single amount, it was future value multiplied by PVIFA, rate of interest at a certain rate of interest for a certain time period. This is how it was defined. The same is done here. Now here, instead of future value, the amount that you are going to receive in future in the form of a coupon, when you are investing in a bond, keep in mind that bond comes with a certain advantages, and one of those advantages, receiving the interest from the bond. So if you are investing in a bond, you are going to receive a certain rate of interest every year, which is known as a coupon rate. It is known as coupon rate rather than interest rate in bonds. It is known as coupon rate. So C stands for coupon rate. If my current, if my bond is of 1,000 rupees and coupon rate is 10 percentage, in that case I will be receiving 1,000 multiplied by 10 percentage. That is 100 rupees in the form of interest or coupon every year. So C is coupon rate multiplied by present value interest annuity factor. Sorry, present value interest factor, not annuity. So if it is a continuous flow, if it is a bond of 10 years, then you will be receiving 10 times 100 rupees. In that case, it will be present value interest annuity factor for at a given rate of interest for a given period of years. Plus, after that 10-year gets completed, you will be receiving your 1000 rupees. So that is M multiplied by PVIF RN. So it will be present value interest factor for 10th year at a certain rate of interest multiplied by M, that is your maturity value. So this is how your respective bond can be calculated. This is the price of the bond can be calculated. At what price the bond should be traded in the market today can be calculated. If we'll see, let's go with an example to understand this concept. Now let's say to illustrate how to compute a price of a bond, consider a 10-year, 10-year, 12% bond, coupon bond with a par value of 1000. Now, par value is nothing but it is the maturity value at what price the bond will mature. Let us assume that the required yield on this bond is 13%. That means R is 13%. The return on investment required by the investors, because on the base of that only we can be able to discount your future cash flow into present cash flow. So required rate of return by individual is 13%, investor is 13%, and the cash flow for this bond will be like this. For example, let us go and calculate in Excel also. So that will help us out to understand. So if I am investing in let us say, for example, I am investing in certain bond which is having a time period of 10 years. Coupon rate is 12%. Required rate of return is 13%, and maturity value is 1000. So this is for 10 years bond. I'm investing today, let us say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm investing today. So my cash outflow will be minus 1000. After 1 year, I will be receiving coupons. The coupon rate is 12%. Multiply 1000 multiply by 0.12. I'll be receiving this 120 rupees after 1 year, and I will be receiving this 120 rupees for coming next 10 years. So this is how I am going to receive. This is my cash inflow. Plus on the 10th year, I will be also receiving 1000 rupees. That is, I invested here. So the total of this respective amount will be received, will be benefited by the bond holder. Now all these amount are going to be received in future, and I am investing today. So what I should do, I have to compare two different price sets. That is, one is today's price value will be equal to today's price value. There will be no fluctuations. But when the same is being assessed and it is being found that the required rate of return is 13% of an individual is ready to invest for a given time frame. In that case, it will see the factor value. This is annuity. This is not changing at all. It is the same as it was in the first year, second year to 10th year. So it becomes annuity, and I am receiving it for 10 times. So period is 10. My required rate of return is 13%. So what I should check out in the annexure table is 13% 10 years, or let us calculate it here. 1 minus 1 minus 1 divided by 1 plus 1 raised to 10 years. This whole is supposed to be divided by 0.13. So this is my factor value. This is my interest annuity factor value. Present value interest annuity factor. I am receiving 120 rupees. So 120 is my annuity. So the total present value of my annuity is 651.1492. 651.1492. This is present value of annuity. On the 10th year, I will be receiving 1000 rupees. So that is, let us calculate the factor value. 1 divided by 1.13 raised to n, that is 10 years. 0.294588. I am receiving 1000 rupees. The value is equal to this 294. The total present value comes to 945.7376 or 74, you can say. So this is how you can be able to calculate the present value of the bond. So first of all, the calculation is supposed to be conducted in two different parts. One is calculating the present value of an annuity and adding the maturity value of adding the present value of the maturity value of the bond. So that comes to 946.45 because of some decimal points. It is 945.7376. So it is being divided into two parts. First, it talks about your coupon. This is your coupon. You are receiving it every year, and this is your 10th year's value. So if you can calculate it here, it is also being very easy to calculate. 1 divided by 1.13 raised to the period, that is this one, and summation. It will do the summation. It is going to be same 5.426243. This is what we calculated. We can simply convert them, the individual cash flows, into present value. The summation will be again 651.1490, the same value, right? And here we already have the 10th year's factor value, so 1000 multiplied by this, it is the same value we calculated. So this is how you can calculate the bond value. If you are unable to calculate in a one single way, that is calculating the interest annuity factor, you can use the table values given at the end of each financial management book. For 13% 10 years, this will be a respective price, this will be a respective factor value. And after that, calculating the 10th year value, that is the maturity years value, when your bond has been matured and you are going to receive the par value or whatever the amount is mentioned there, and converting that also into present value, that is calculating its factor value first of all at that respective rate of required returns, and then converting them into adding these two present values together gives you the total present value of a bond. These two cash flows, cash inflows, are a part of that respective bond. So that is why we are adding these two instead of adding or one only, one cash flow. So this is how your bond valuation can be calculated. Bond value with semi-annual interest rate. Now, as we had calculated, they are in time value of money, that the compounding happens twice a year. That means semi-annually. In the same way, bond valuation can be, or bond can be issued two times in a year. See, when a bond is being, the interest is being paid on the bonds for two times in a year, that is every 6 months. In that case, the coupon rate do not changes. If we go back to our previous sum, and let us say that this is being paid semi-annually rather than annually, then what happens? It will be divided by 2, that is 60 only. So this is the first phase. You can add another amount, another period by dividing it by 2, that is it's a semi-annually. If it would have been a quarter, then it should have been divided by 4, that is like this way. So if we'll go back to the slides, we'll see that C by 2, C by 2, rate of interest, required rate of return by 2. And this is how it can be calculated. R divided by 2 and 2 times N, that is N becomes twice now. If it is a 10 years bond and if you have been receiving 2 times, if you are receiving the coupon rate 2 times, in that case, it will be twice. So in 1 year, 2 times you will be receiving the bond. The total bond is equal. The total coupon rate from the bond is 120. That is 12%, but paid semi-annually, and that is why it is 2 times. So in this way, 1 year is equal to 2 times. The total 10 number of years becomes multiplied by 2 times, becomes 20 times. So this is 2n. Instead of 10, it will be now 20. And as coupon rate was 13%, the coupon rate will move on to 13.5. Illustration. Let us try to understand the semi-annually coupon sum. An illustration: consider an 8-year 12% bond with a par value of 100, on which interest is payable semi-annually. The required return of this on this bond is 14%. 12% coupon bond. So coupon bond or rate of interest of the coupon is 12%. The par value is 100 rupees. That means it will mature at 100 rupees. Semi-annually, 12% is being paid, and it is for 8 years. So let us check it out one more time here. Let us go back to the Excel sheet, try to calculate the same. Now instead of 1000 is 1100, and instead of 60 rupees, now it comes to 6 because it is 2 times in a year. So it will be 60 only. Six point zero six. As it is a 12% bond, so it will be 60 rupees. 6 divided by 1.07 raised to p, and this one is 16. So it will be here 7%. Your required rate of return is 14%. Now it becomes 7 because it is divided by 2. And n, as it was 8 years, now it is 16 as it is multiplied by 2. So this is 6 rupees, that is 12% of 100 rupee bond, that comes to 12 rupees, minus, or reduction is that. So this is how it will be calculated. 6 rupees multiplied by factor value is 7%, 16 years is 9.447. Let us put it down here. It will help us. 14%, 12, 100. So it will be here. It is 14 percentage, 16, 8 into 2, and as it is 0.7 divided by 0.7, so it is 9.44. Factor value is 9.447, and as it is for 6 divided 12 divided by 2, it becomes 6. And in the same way, if we'll calculate the factor value for this respective time period, 8 years, 7% and 16 years, it is 0.339. The total bond value comes to 90.6 percentage, 90.6 rupees. Price yield relationship. There's a relationship between the price and the value of the bond. So this is your price yield relationship graph. You can find that when a coupon is discounted in value, the yield is more. When a coupon is being sold or is a premium price, the yield is less. And when it is par, it is equal to the same value. So this is how it can be classified. If coupon rate is greater than the required rate of return, the relationship between these respective three factors, these three criteria. One is coupon rate, that is the rate, that interest rate that you are generating from investing in coupons, investing in bonds. Second is the required return, required yield means required return. What amount you are looking for, what return you are expecting from your respective investment, and price of the bond. So when coupon rate is greater than the required returns, price will be greater than the par. It will be termed as a premium bond. Price will be more than par. Coupon rate is greater than required rate of return. It should be equal to. If coupon rate is equal to required rate of return, price will be equal to par. So there is no place for arbitraging. Coupon rate is less than required rate of return. The price will be the bond will be traded at discounted value compared to its market value. So this is the relationship between the coupon rate, required rate of return, and the price. So keep this in mind. This is one of the important segments of this respect today's session's discussion. That what is the relationship between the coupon rate, required rate of return, and the price of the bond. So if coupon rate is greater than required rate of return, then in that case it will be a premium bond. If coupon rate is equal to required rate of return, then it will be price will be equal to par. And if it is less than the required rate of return, the price will be at a discounted value. So if you'll see here, you will find it out that the premium bond or discounted bond at a certain time period is being traded either in premium or in discount. But as the time goes on, you'll find that both of these prices comes to the same price, that is the par value of the bond. So at maturity, the bond will be matured at par only. It will not be matured at discount or at premium. There are certain theorems about bond price theorems. Bond price and return from the bond moves in opposite direction. Bond price are more sensitive to yield changes with respect to the longer maturities. The price sensitivity of bond to yield changes increasing at a decreasing with maturity. High coupon bond prices are less sensitive to yield changes than low coupon bond prices. And with the change in the yield given number of basis points, the associated percent gain is larger than the percent loss. These are the things that the bond price theorem explains. If we'll see the yield, how to calculate the return on the bonds. So it is current yield is calculated with the help of annual interest rate, that is your annual coupon rate divided by the price. So that will give you the current return on investment. Yield to maturity. So yield to maturity is calculated with the help of this respective formula. Yield to maturity is being calculated with the help of this respective formula. C plus M minus P divided by N. C is the coupon rate. M is the maturity value. M is the market value, and P is the par value divided by N. So averaging of this value, whole divided by zero point 0.4 M plus 0.4, 0.6 P. So this is your yield to maturity. In short, it is known as YTM, and yield to call. So in that case, it is somewhat like what we calculated right now, but M is here for us that respective period only, and not for the entire period of a given time frame. So realized yield to maturity, we'll see this sum. It will explain you how this realized YTM is calculated. Investment in the beginning is of 850. This is a 1000 coupon bond, and the annual interest rate is 15%. That is 150 of 1000 rupees comes to 115% of 1000 comes to 1.150 rupees. Reinvestment, this respective amount is being reinvested for the second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time. So the amount that is being received in the very first year will be received for the next coming 5 years. The second year bond will be getting a period of 3 years. Third will be getting a period of 1 year. Fourth will be getting one, and fifth, the fifth will be getting 0 years of investment. At what rate of interest you are discounting? So it is 16%. It has been calculated here for 16%, and this is the intermediate cash flow, and which is supposed to get added. So the total future value is equal to 2032, which includes also the price, also the sales value of the respective coupon, respective bond. So it is 2.391, or you can say it is equal to 19%. This you need to check out in the time value of money. This is what you need to check out in time value of money. This is the quotation. This is how the screen will look like when you are trading into the derivatives market. You are trading into the debt market. This is how the screen will look like. Valuation of preference share. This is what we had discussed up to this is all about your respective